Actually, they were pretty quiet. They've been pretty quiet recently.
Yeah, they have.
Who are these guys?
Yeah,
Remember the last time they complained?
What's that?
When was the last time they complained about it?
No, but what about us complaining about them?
no, not a lot.
They've been pretty quiet.
I know. These guys over here were the
They opened the door and had an aggravation against them. Not on us.
And I know. So I'm more than appreciative.
Well, let's see what happens.
Let's close it. Out of respect. Because they haven't caused
They've been nice to us.
grief. They haven't caused us any grief. We're not really getting revenge. We're instigating.
But these guys,
But they're gone.
oh, they left? Oh, the Irish left?
Yeah. You know
They
they
got
tossed
kicked
them
out.
out.
Yeah. I saw them walking away with their suitcases.
Wow.
And Bernard had a big bouncer guy standing there.
I think that's his son, actually.
Oh, really?
Govinda. Dharma Sadhu pointed out, can you imagine a whole country full of those kind of guys?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Rama, Madhava, Kunda Bihari. Jaya Rama, Madhava, Kunda Bihari. Jaya Raro Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Puri Bhajakacharya Satadashish Mrizvangaya Sabhaya Charan Bhakti Vedanta Sai Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON DBT Founder Acharya Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananda Guravaisha Brinda Ki Namchar Srila Hirasta Kuri Ki Prem Shikaho Shukashan Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadwaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Ki Say Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kundu Radha Kundu Kiti Gauran Ki Vrindavadam Ki Maturadam Ki Dwarkadam Ki Navaridam Ki Jagannapuridam Ki Jamunamai Ki Gangamai Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Sambhir Bhakti Vinda Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Sri Siddhara Giridhari Ki Shri Krishna Sankirtana Jaga Ki Gopremanandi. All glories to the Samud devotees. All glories to the Samud devotees. All glories to the Samud devotees. All glories to Divine Literacy to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Now we can open that door full bore. And what's more, I'm trying to think of another rhyme. We can open the other door. Om Namo, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottama Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Krishna Svadamo Pakate Dhammaganadi Bisaha Kalana Sadasham Misha Parano Kodarodita. The Bhagavatam is burned as a sun that's arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied with knowledge, religion, etc. Persons who've lost their vision to the dense darkness of the age of Kali, that's us, should get light out of this Purana. Before beginning our study of the srimadbhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, we should first offer our respects to the personality of Godhead Narayan, to the Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, the goddess of living Mother Saraswati, the author Srila Vyasadeva, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. So we are in text 38. Yeah? Na Kadachin Mat Para Shanta Rupe Nakshanti No Me Nimisho Lady Heti Yesham Aham Priya Atma Sutash Cha Shaka Guru Suhrido Daivam Ishtam Nakara Chinmat Parashanta Rupe Nakshanti no me Nimisho Lady Heti Yeshamaham Priya Atma Shutascha Saka Guru Surido Daivam Ishtam Nakari Chinmat Parashanta Rupe Nakshanti no me nimisho lady hetihi Yeshamaham priya atmashutascha Saka Guru Surido Daivamishtam Nakada Chinmat Parashanta Rupe Nakshanta no me nimisho lady hetihi Yeshamaham priya atmashutascha Saka Guru Surido Daivamishtam Nakari Chinmat Parasanta Rupe Nakshanti no me nimisho lady hetihi Yeham Sukha Guru Surido Daivam Ishtam. Not all at once now. Nakari Chinmat Parashantam Rupe Nakshanta Hime Sholedi Hetihi Yesamatman Saka Guru Surido Daivamishtam Nakada Chinmat Parashanta Rupe Nakshanta no me nimisho lady hetihi Yeshamaham priya atmascha Saka Guru Surido Daivamishtam Nakari Chinmat Parashanta Rupe Nakshanta no me nimishi lady hetihi Yeshamaham priya atmasutascha Saka Guru Suridam Daivamishtam Nakshanta Santa Rupe Nakshanti no me nimisho lady hetahi Yeshamaham priya atmasaptaha Saka Guru Suridam Daivamishtam Not Kadachit Ever Mat Paraha My devotees Shanta Rupe O mother Nakshanti will lose Not my Animisha time Lady destroys Heti weapon Yesham of whom Aham I Priya dear Atma self Sutta son Cha and Sakha friend Guru preceptor Suhrida benefactor Daivam Deity. Ishtam. Chosen. Translation. The Lord continued, "My dear mother, devotees who receive such transcendental opulences are never bereft of them. Neither weapons nor change of time can destroy such opulences. Because a devotee accepts me as their friend, their relative, their son, preceptor, benefactor, and supreme deity, they cannot be deprived of their possessions at any time." Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita that one may elevate himself to the higher planetary systems, even up to Brahmaloka, by dint of pious activities. But when the effects of such pious activities are finished, one again comes back to this earth to begin a new life of activities. Thus, even though one is promoted to the higher planetary systems for enjoyment and a long duration of life, still that is not a permanent settlement. But as far as the devotees are concerned, their assets, the achievement of devotional service and the consequent opulence of Vaikuntha, even on this planet, are never destroyed. In this verse, Kapila Deva addresses his mother as Shanta Rupa, indicating that the opulence of the devotees are fixed, because devotees are eternally fixed in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, which is called Shanta Rupa, because it is in the mode of pure goodness, undisturbed by the mode of passion and ignorance. Once one is fixed in devotional service of the Lord, his position of transcendental service cannot be destroyed, and the pleasure and service simply increase unlimitedly. For the devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness and the Vaikuntha atmosphere, there's no influence of time. In the material world, the influence of time destroys everything. But in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, there's no influence of time or the demigods, because there are no demigods in the Vaikuntha planets. Here our activities are controlled by different demigods. How many? 33 million. They got it covered. We are not independent. Just ask the folks in Florida. If we move our head or leg, the actions are controlled by the demigods. All we can actually do is desire. We have a desire, and in the super soul and all then everything happens. We're not really pulling the levers, and it's not happening. Where were we? But in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, everything is. But in the Vaikuntha atmosphere, there's no influence of the demigods or of time. Therefore, there's no question of destruction. When the time element is present, there is the certainty of destruction. But when there's no time element, past, present, or future, then everything is eternal. Therefore, this verse uses the word na nakshanti, indicating that the transcendental opulences will never be destroyed. The reason for freedom from destruction is also described. The devotees accept the Supreme Lord as the most dear personality and reciprocate with him in different relationships. They accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the dearmost friend, dearmost relative, dearmost son, dearmost preceptor, dearmost well-wisher, or the dearmost deity. The Lord is eternal. Therefore, any relationship in which we accept him is also eternal. It is clearly confirmed herein that the relationship cannot be destroyed, and therefore the opulence of those relationships are also not destroyed. Every living entity has the propensity to love someone. We can see that if someone has no object of love, he generally directs his love to a pet animal, or like a dog or a cat. Prabhupada always says it. Thus, the eternal propensity for love in all living entities is always searching for a place to reside. From this verse, we can learn that we can love the Supreme Personality of Godhead as our dearmost object, as a friend, as a son, as a preceptor, or as a well-wisher. And there will be no cheating and no end to such love. We shall eternally enjoy the relationship, it's a long purport, with the Supreme Lord in different aspects. The special feature of this verse is the acceptance of the Lord as the Supreme Preceptor. Bhagavad Gita is spoken directly by the Supreme Lord, and Arjuna accepts Krishna as the Guru or the spiritual master. Similarly, we should accept only Krishna as the Supreme Spiritual Master. Krishna, of course, means Krishna, and his confidential devotees. Krishna is not alone. When we speak of Krishna, Krishna means in his name, his form, his qualities, his abode, and his associates. Krishna is never alone, for the devotees of Krishna are not impersonalists. For example, a king is always associated with his secretaries, his commander, his servant, and so much paraphernalia. As soon as we accept, even the President of the United States travels with Air Force One, and there's so many things, there's all kinds of stuff going on. A king is always, that we read. As soon as we accept Krishna and his associates as our preceptors, no ill effects can destroy our knowledge. In the material world, the knowledge which we acquire may change because of the influence of time. But nevertheless, the conclusions received from Bhagavad Gita, directly from the speeches of the Supreme Lord Krishna, never change. We're talking eternal truth. Bhagavad Gita is not antiquated. It doesn't need to be conformed to the current, latest discovery. It's eternal truth. Even the Bible says nothing new under the sun. There's no use interpreting Bhagavad Gita. It is eternal. One last paragraph. Krishna, the Supreme Lord, should be accepted as one's best friend. He will never cheat. He will always give his friendly advice and friendly protection to the devotee. If Krishna is accepted as a son, he will never die. Here we have a loving son or child, but the father and mother, or those who are affectionate toward him, always hope, may my son not die. But Krishna actually never will die. Because you can hope till hell freezes over. What do they call it? Hoping against hope? But everybody dies. It all breaks. Everything breaks in this material world. Sorry. But Krishna will actually never die. Therefore, those who accept Krishna or the Supreme Lord as their son will never be bereft of their son. In many instances, devotees have accepted the deity as son. In Bengal, there are many such instances, and even after the death of the devotee, the deity performs the Shraddha ceremony for the father. Yeah, that's far up. I have a few other examples, though. The relationship is never destroyed. People are accustomed to worship different forms of demigods, but in Bhagavad Gita, such a mentality is condemned. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to worship only the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different forms as Lakshminarayan, Sita Ram, and Radha Krishna. Thus, one will never be cheated. By worshipping the demigods, one may elevate himself to the higher planets, but during the dissolution of the material world, the deity and the abode of the deity will be destroyed. So what to speak of you, or your situation. But one who accepts the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is promoted to the Vaikuntha planets, where there is no influence of time, destruction, or annihilation. The conclusion is that the time influence, cannot act upon devotees who have accepted the Supreme Personality of Godhead as everything. Om Gana Timarandasya Gyana Gana Salakaya Jakshusha Militan Gina Tasade Shri Gurave Namaha. There is the Greek mythology of Sisyphus. And Sisyphus, I forget what he did, but he was cursed that he had to roll this rock, big rock, up a hill. I believe he has an eagle picking at his liver at the same time. That's another one? Oh, all right. Well, the rock's enough. So he's rolling this rock up the hill. And if he can get it over the hill before sunset off the cliff, he's freed. So he's sweating and struggling, and he gets it. It's just the sun's about just to set. And he gives one last Herculean push. Whew, slips, and the rock rolls back. And he starts all over again the next day. And on that happy note, such is our life. I mean, you work hard, you make money, you take care of a family. Hare Krishna. I was just reading, Prabhupada says that, or listening to a tape actually, and Prabhupada said that just to maintain a family, in Kali Yuga, one feels he's conquered an empire. I have a cane for you if you remind me. I have an extra cane. Yeah, I got cane and crutches. What can I say? Remind me. So, this is our situation. That it's again and again and again, struggling hard. You may have an apex. You may, there may be a time that you've actually, rare is it. Figure the different factors. You got to have a nice husband and wife. You got to have good kids, not on drugs, not dummies, not, you have to be good looking, clean up nicely. Wife's got to be loving, or husband. So we figure you get a spouse, kids, but without money, what does he got to have money? Well, you can have all those. You got to have health, right? What else? I mean, there's so many factors. And maybe you can push it all to like a juggler, like they're juggling oranges, and then they throw in a candelabra, and then they throw in a piano, and after a while, I can't juggle it all, But suppose you're able to juggle it all, you got it all going, but for how long? In New Vrindavan, they opened the curtains. I was there. They opened the curtains one day. Beautiful Radha Vrindavan Chandra. They have nice kajal. Their eyes are... Prabhupada said, when he saw the picture, he said, Krishna's appeared like an American movie star. So we thought, must mean handsome, But actually, I was thinking about it. I was talking to some other devotees at the time. And if you actually... Because Prabhupada's father took him to see a couple movies. And there were the silent flicks. And they all used to wear the dark, that... Yeah, but so in that you had the nice cudgel. So Radha Vrindavan Chandra. Anyway, the deities opened, and Vrindavan Chandra, he had all kinds of wrist watches, pocket watches. He had about 15 watches on. We looked at the head pujari. He said, "Well, Krishna says, 'Time I am.'" I said, "No. It doesn't work quite like that, but But so we're like Sisyphus trying to roll this rock up and again and again and again. And what do they say? What are the signs of insanity is to keep, repetition. They call it obsessive compulsive? OCD, is that what it's called?
Doing the same thing over.
Yeah, over and over and over again. You expect it. Yeah, expect a different result? I mean, no, you're going to get the same result. Assuming all the factors are the same, and they are. So... Prabhupada, what is the opulence? Because it's talking about opulence. And on one hand, the devotees, if you actually think about it, somehow I'm thinking about the Bible, Jesus says, "My yoke is light." Pulling a yoke. Devotees, Prabhupada talks about the Vaikuntha atmosphere. If you just step back and look at it, we have fresh flowers, fresh prasadam. I live in that apartment complex. They're always just microwaving this or that, or they come home with a bag from, Wasn't there the guy who lived on McDonald's? He was trying to live on it he was going to live on it for a couple months. Yeah, somebody was a supersize. It was a thing called Supersize Me. And the guy was just going to live on McDonald's to see what would happen. See what it did to him. And he was going to go, I think, 6 months or 3 months. I think it was 6 months, and they called him off after 2 months. Doctors called him off. And they had it was just killing him, So anyway, fresh food cooked in devotion. I don't even want to go into what happens at those fast food, any restaurant. They don't like you. Don't tick off your waiter. Trust me, I worked in a restaurant one time. You don't want to tick off your waiter. So many things, fresh fruit, fresh flowers, clean clothes. They don't even know the word clean clothes. Guy next to me washes his laundry every 2 weeks. I've watched him. We're friends. My door's open, his door's open in the hot weather. He'll take a shirt out of the dirty laundry, smell it. Not too bad, put it on. Oh my God, not everyone is like that, but if you add up all the different factors, actually, we're living in a very opulent Vaikuntha atmosphere. Fresh food, and what is the pressure? Chant Hare Krishna, do some service. Nobody say with a whip and chair. In America, now people work at will. You know what at will means? Do you work at will? You don't. You have a contract. Yeah, you're no dummy. Most people work at will. At will means
That if they want to let you go, they can let you go with no reason.
they just drop you right down a shaft. And now, if you're under a certain weight, if you're the average, wage slave, they got you all on part-time, so they don't have to give you benefits. I mean, it's horrible. Bestial. So, Vaikuntha atmosphere. Actually, we're living in a Vaikuntha atmosphere. You just chant Hare Krishna, do some service, spread Krishna's glories, take a little prasadam. If you're tired, take a nap. I mean, nobody's going to fire you. Thought about it, but no, you can't do it, So, and then Prabhupada, someone said to Prabhupada, I was there, said to Prabhupada, but they're sinful and yet they're so opulent. Prabhupada said, what is their opulence? Prabhupada said they don't have an opulence of a moment's peace of mind. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you can't have happiness unless you have peace. You can't have peace unless you've got controlled senses. Can't have controlled senses unless you have a steady mind. And you can't have a steady mind unless you've got intelligence fixed in transcendence. You've got to understand you're not this body, this world, this thing. Otherwise, you're not moored to anything of permanence. And you're just tossed hither and thither. So where's the question of opulence? Where's the question of happiness when you don't even have a moment's peace of mind? I mean, I hate to use the example, but I will. Our President Trump, he's the President of the United States. He's got that little button right next to his free Pepsi button. He's got his little button he can push, I don't know. It's more complicated than that for destroying things, But the guys, they just know how to play him. He's always ticked off about this, Twitter feeding. Some tin pot dictator in Korea says, meh, and he's, oh, I'm going to nuke you. It's madness. So even though he's a billionaire, well, so they say, maybe. So whatever, but he's certainly got all kinds of opulence, and he's completely anxiety-ridden, I don't know how we're off on it, but somebody sent me a clip, and there was not a NATO, maybe it was NATO, whatever, but it's a meeting of all these heads of state, all over Europe, and they're taking a group photo. And there's a picture, he's just bouncing. The Prime Minister of Montenegro just pushes this guy, pushes that guy, and goes right to the front. I'm Trump the chump. You would think that his ego would be assuaged. He's got the #1 address in the world. But no, he just burns, like Krishna says, burns like fire and is never satisfied. So, what is their opulence? The opulence of the devotee is the Vaikuntha atmosphere, free from anxiety. Let me just serve Krishna. And so many sweet ways to serve Krishna. And it can never be taken away. Everything else, whatever facility Krishna provides, if Krishna provides a ton of money, we'll build a beautiful temple for Krishna. And we'll, fly in gardenias from wherever, we'll spend Krishna's money nicely. We'll distribute huge amounts of prasadam, put on festivals. You know that the LA Ratha Yatra costs between $60,000 and $75,000 to put on? Yeah. You add up all the permits, you add up all the rentals, you add up all the costs of the boga, you rent up all the stuff. Yeah. Insurance. And Swavas Prabhu and Tadit, the dynamic duo, ideal householders. She is in every sense his better half. They are a great combination. The LA Ratha Yatra makes money. That's how expert Swavas and Tadit's management is for the gift shop and donors. But the point is that spend for Krishna. Prabhupada said, Krishna's no poor man. Spend for Krishna. And by the arrangement of Krishna's hand, we don't have it. Krishna has 100 hands. He can give with 100 hands. He can take with 100 hands. We can have a little Shila. You offer a little Ganga Jal, Tulsi leaf, sweet prayers. Krishna's fully satisfied. So we can serve Krishna in any, whether you're in the opulent temple, or whether you're under a tree by the banks of a river, you can worship Krishna. And it's the same sweet taste. Little forest flower, little, whatever you've got, you offer to Krishna. Same sweet taste. Totally available. So that's real opulence. I'm thinking of the time factor. Prabhupada talks about, two things are certain. What do they call it? Countervailing forces. They are negations of each other. We all want to love somebody. And the thing is, we want somebody who loves us. We want to love, but we want someone who knows the real me. People are always, we're all doing it. We're all trying to put on a good face. We don't want to see my real... There was happened to be a lady. I'm not picking on ladies. Easily could have been a man, but it happened to be a lady. And I won't mention the name. And nobody in this room. So she presented how she was always very austere and very sickly. Very sickly and very austere. Couldn't do any service, couldn't do any of this because she was so austere, but she was, just fixed in Krishna's holy name and, So I just was minding my own business. I was going out the back door, and the prasadam is there before you go out the door, right? And I heard somebody rustling around in there. I didn't care. I think I was, maybe I'll go back and get a little prasadam myself. And it was this lady who presents that she was very austere, never eats anything, and is so sickly, can only eat, organic barley flown in from Nepal, whatever it is. And she had both cheeks completely stuffed. Stuffed. Like a squirrel, She'd just been, like a trough. And she managed to get up. She said, just looking for a tulsi leaf. Just looking for a tulsi leaf, I said, take prasada, be happy. I don't care, Take prasada. What's it to me? It's none of my business, But no, I'm just looking for a tulsi leaf. What? By consuming everything, there's inevitably going to be one tulsi leaf in there? Come on, But, that's an extreme example, and we could think of so many, and certainly I can find, we're trying to look cool. They're trying to, how to tie my sika so it looks nice. Who cares? So, how did I get off on? So we want someone who knows us and loves us in spite of all of our faults, knows our real heart, our real nature. Maybe I'm not always such a jolly guy, or maybe I don't always get it right, or maybe I'm a fallible being kicked by material nature. And if that becomes revealed, forget it, man. People are always trading up for the, I'm going to turn you in. Prabhupada lists different features that have to be accomplished. Nice children, marriage. Nice children, nice house, nice clothing, good food, aristocratic position. There's a list. Prabhupada nails them. And if in the material world, the devotee world, I'm happy serving Krishna. My wife, my husband, he's a nice devotee. Hare Krishna, fine. And there's that internal satisfaction of service. You're not expecting. There was a devotee who is a full-time devotee, living in the temple. And this temple is maintained by householders, maintained by donations and the hard work and skill of householders. Brahmacharis and sannyasis were just playing all day long, So I'm not criticizing the householders at all. This man was a brahmachari, went out and got married. And the girl he met her at the dinner program. We used to have that dinner program. I don't want to be too specific. Anyway, he presented himself to her. He was working as a publisher for our BBT. And she was working for Bank of America. He thought, hey, she'll work hard, make money, and I can focus, to his credit, I can focus on developing art books about Krishna. I can do what I like to publish instead of I can do my own thing and have my own self-expression, and she'll pay the bills. Now she was thinking, you think they would have had this conversation. She was thinking, hey, I'll marry this guy who's a happening publisher, and I can give up my high-pressure job in finance, and she wanted to be a potter or in some kind of watercolors or whatever, you know? So each thought that the other was going to satisfy my needs. How long do you think that marriage lasted? No, they made it about 2 years. I think they made it 2 years. But, you know, each, oh, you're going to fulfill my desires. Well, wait. There's a joke that, anyway, I don't want to get too far afield because of time. But it's exactly the opposite for a devotee. Oh, he's a nice devotee, serving Krishna. Let me help him. Let me help him serve Krishna. And my satisfaction is not because of what this man can provide for me, but my satisfaction is I'm happy serving Krishna. And the husband doesn't think, hey, where's my dinner? Where's this? Where's that? Where's my, you got to do this. Forget it. Better she's happy serving. Where were you? Well, I was serving Krishna. Okay, fine, whatever, Very happy. So because they have that, there's not a vacuum. They're not trying to fill a hole inside. It's already filled by bhakti. All right, so, you get a little old. When you get married, I don't know why I'm picking on marriage, but you gain, what do they call it? Certain poundage, generally speaking. Not in your case. You guys are quite fit. But you often see they kind of puff up, My daughter, and she's a good girl. She won't mind that I said that because she jokes about it. But she practically fasted for 3 weeks. And I was joking. My niece said this, so they could get into their wedding, She said, I'm never going to look better than I look now. The wedding pictures, And they were all thinking like that, Oh, once they got that ring on the finger, poof. Bring on the cannoli, or whatever it is, I'll take extra whipped cream with that, and they got that. It's over, And the man thinks the same thing. Oh, forget that. I'm not going to the gym. So, but there's that need for someone to know us as we are and to love us. And it's very rare, because devotees, he's a devotee, all right, whatever, fine, Hare Krishna. We're not into the whole psychoanalysis of. But Krishna, if you think about it, Krishna has been within our heart when we were a hog. We were eating cows. I'll have that steak rare. I mean, now imagine Govinda, Gopal, and we're gnawing on the raw flesh of a cow. And Krishna's still within the heart, never leaves, never, like 1984, whatever, there's a breaking point. Ultimately, every bond has a breaking point. If it's not broken by time, it's broken by you didn't fulfill the contract, you didn't provide sufficiently, or they trade up for a different model, or you change, what do they say? It's not you, it's me. That famous line, Everything breaks. But Krishna, no matter what we do, he's still in the heart, giving good advice, giving good direction. Now there's a friend. There's Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, friend of all living entities. So Prabhupada's talking about this Vaikuntha atmosphere. And maybe, just for fun, just to close, Prabhupada talks about the Krishna reciprocating with the Shraddha ceremony. I used to know that story. I can't remember the story, if anyone remembers. But I was also thinking that there's Shakshi Gopal. There's the man who, it's a long story. The short version is the young man, young devotee helps the elderly devotee in his pilgrimage. The older man is so grateful, very wealthy man. He says, you're a nice person, you're a nice devotee. When we get back to our village, I'll give you my daughter, in my daughter's hand. When he gets back, the relatives flip. That guy's just a poor Brahmin, and you're a wealthy landholder, and you can't. The mother-in-law says, I'll kill myself if you do it. The whole thing goes on. So they make a vow. But the point is that Krishna comes as the witness, walks from Vrindavan to, where is it? It's at Shakshi Gopal's in Puri.